super excited that you're here today. I have been in the financing industry since 2003, and I'm a certified coach as well. I could tell you that I am deeply disturbed at the limited amount of information and resources that we have for people to learn about money and create financial freedom. That's why I'm here today. There's a huge gap of support from when you leave your parents' home and go to college to you being in a position to be able to meet with a financial planner. And if you don't know how to earn, save, and invest money to get into that position, how are you ever going to get there? This is what I see day in, day out with my clients. And they always say, I just didn't know. I was never taught. I wasn't provided the information. Although there's plenty of books, online courses, and videos that are out there to provide guidance, most of us don't prioritize it to learn it, don't have the time, or we just don't want to see the truth of where we're at. So what we need to do is just have a little bit of guidance and support to move in the direction that we really desire. So I'm here to help provide that support and guidance to put you on your path to financial freedom. That's why I created the Abundance Connection. I love this quote that's on here. It says, "Wealth is the ability to fully express life," by Henry David Thoreau. Now, that's true because wealth is having whatever means the most to you. And I think that all of us have a different view of what abundance looks like for us. Now, when I talk about the abundance connection, it's creating the connection between your mindset and your action. Now, I love, and I'm a truly big believer that it starts with mindset, and we have to have that piece of the puzzle first to be able to build upon taking action to creating whatever it is we want in life. But we need that connection. We need the mindset and we need the action plan in order to create abundance at any avenue that we're looking to proceed in. Now, there's many areas of improvements in your personal life and in your business life. And all of those, with the information that we're funneling through, you can create abundance in any of those categories. We may specifically be talking about money and finance today, but understand abundance is in every area of your life. So the 3 steps to create anything that you desire in anything in life is going to be the vision, the purpose, and the action that you take. What does that mean? Well, in order to be able to create something, you need to know what that looks like. And it's going to evolve and it's going to change and all of that. You don't need to overthink it or overanalyze it. You just need to know what's the next vision. What am I going towards right now? And it's totally okay that it could change later on. But we need to have a vision of what that looks like. We need to get deep within that vision, understand how it feels, what it's going to look like, who we need to become in order to create that vision. But also we need to know the purpose. Why? If we don't know why it's a must for us, then we can't connect to it in the times that are hard, in the times where we need a little bit more motivation. We need to be truly connected to understand why is it that I want what I want at the core level. Now, it's going to start at a surface level, maybe, well, I want money. Okay, well, why do you want the money? What is the money going to bring you? What is the money going to help you become? What is going to help you provide to who? Get very clear and very deep on what that looks like for you. And then the massive action. We can have the vision, we can know why we want it, but if we don't take action, we're not going to succeed. Now, having an abundance mindset, and I don't know if you've watched The Secret, and I highly encourage you if you haven't, it's on Netflix, I believe. Yes, you need to be open to receive. You need to be open to universe, God, whatever you want to call it. You need to be in a position to be able to accept that abundance. But you also need to take action towards receiving that abundance. It's not just sit and wait for the paychecks to show up in the mail. You still have to be taking on the opportunities when they come and being very clear on what the next action step is that you can move towards. So those 3 steps, if you have the vision, if you have the purpose, and if you have the massive action, with all of that and the correct mindset, you can achieve abundance through the abundance connection of both of those, the mindset and the massive action. So again, I'm super excited that you're here with me today on this journey of the abundance connection and creating the abundant life that you want. Now, the struggle is real. I want to make sure that we're all very clear that, I'm a realist. This is not going to be easy, and it's going to, eventually become easier, and it's totally going to be worth it. But it's going to be changing your beliefs and challenging all that we've known to become and believe. And it's going to take focus and dedication to develop the new beliefs, and we must acquire these beliefs to become abundant in any area in our life, including the financial aspect. So we have the power of choice at all times. And if not most important, during these times of challenges when it's most important. So these choices will initially be challenging. We'll have some wins and we'll have some learning experiences. I don't say we have losses, because I believe that in these moments that we don't achieve what we wanted to achieve, or we don't make the choice that we wish we would have made, it's a learning experience. So it's not a failure, it's not a loss, it's a learning experience. And in that moment, we have another option, we have another choice. We can choose to decide to become a little bit better and make a little bit better choices next time. So we need to say that we don't fail. We gain perspective and we learn from every experience. Some days we're going to get frustrated with our choices and lack of choices. We may spend time we shouldn't have to think about things that are, negative longer than we would have liked, but slowly we'll start making more good choices than bad choices. And the gratification of the good choices will become addicting. So you're going to start seeing, as they become addicting, you're going to want to make more good choices. On the days that get hard, we choose grace and we decide to choose better choices the next time. We don't dwell on the fact that we didn't make the best choice possible in that moment. We release it, we let it go, we don't hold on to it, and we decide to make a better choice next time. And we must remember that the most difficult changes can be the most disappointing, but also the most rewarding, because we get to decide. So in those times, we get to decide that we're not going to settle for less, that we're going to raise our standards, that we're going to become the person that we want to become. And with that is the most rewarding. So are you committed to a better life? Not just saying yes, but really meeting it, feeling it, embodying it. You have to really connect and decide to be committed in order to get through the times of trials and tribulations, and to step up the next day and just become a better version of ourselves. You really have to truly connect, and you really truly have to decide that you are going to take action in a positive direction moving forward. So if you're not at that place, totally fine. Everybody will get to the place where it means enough for them to want to make a change, to move forward at some point. And if the time's not for you, you can go ahead and just turn this off and come back to it when you are in a position where you're open to make changes and to change the life that you have, to create the life that you desire. If you're ready to commit, then we're going to commit today and move forward, and I'm super excited for you. So really, we're going to talk around a lot of different information, but we're going to look at 3 steps. So the first step is going to be reality. So we need to know, where are we at currently? Not worse than it is, not better than it is, but the reality of where we are. It's very easy for us to get consumed with the fear of really facing where we're at. It's easier just to pay the minimum payment on the credit cards and not even look at the statements to see how much we're paying in interest or what we owe. It's easier to just go ahead and have that instant gratification and buy that thing that we want, and just kind of not even think about the consequences of it. Out of sight, out of mind. But if it's out of sight, out of mind, then you can't take control of what you want and create the life that you want. So we really need to see it. Where are we currently? What does that look like? And what is the next best step that I could take right now to put me in a position to be where I want to be? Step 2 is going to be our vision, our purpose, and our massive action plan. So we're going to create the life that we desire, literally one step at a time. And we're going to look at the 10 milestones of financial freedom. So in order to create a financial wealth management, abundance and financial wealth, we need to know, what does that look like? What are the milestones that we want to work towards in order to create this financial freedom that we desire? And it's really easy. We overcomplicate it. Really, it's just 10 simple steps that's going to give you a lifetime of financial abundance, and you just need to work towards the next step. Once you get to that step, you work towards the next step. So it's just focusing on the next step, not worrying about the future, and not getting overwhelmed with what that all looks like. Just taking the next best step that we can moving forward. We're going to get very clear on the vision that we want. We're going to get very clear on why it's a must. Why do we need to become this person, and who do we need to become in order to achieve what we're trying to achieve? So we're going to envision, what do we look like achieving what it is that we want? Who is that person? How do I need to connect? What is it going to do for me? What is it going to do for my family if I accomplish? What is it going to take away from me? What is it going to take away from my family if I don't become this person, if I don't accomplish what I want? You need to connect with why this is a must, to the deep core. So you got to get very specific as to why this is a must for me to take take charge, be committed, and fully embody becoming this person so that I can achieve what I want from life. And then it's about taking, massive action plan. You need to take massive action. Now, little steps on that massive action. I think the problem is that people are like, oh, it's going to be so overwhelming. It's just too much on my plate. I don't even want to do it. It's just too much. I don't even want to focus on it. And we all do that. And that's why we really got to break it down into bite sizes. Okay, right now, what is the next thing that I need to focus on to get me into the position to be where I want to be with the long-term vision? So really it's about what's my ultimate outcome, which is going to be your overall vision. My outcome is that I'm going to be financially free. I'm going to have $500,000 in liquid assets. I'm going to be retired by the age of 40 with over $100,000 in income that's going to last me for the next 40 years after retirement. Whatever that is, and we're going to get detailed in it, your ultimate vision is your desired outcome. Then we're going to have these small action items that are going to get us to the next best spot to be able to fulfill that vision. So really it's massive action, which means that every day you wake up and take action with your mindset, with your thoughts, and with your finances so that you can slowly start to get the financial freedom, whatever that vision is that you're wanting. And then step 3 is very important. I think that a lot of us forget to do it. I know that I'm guilty of this, and I actually have to time block it on my calendar to remind myself to do it. And that's celebrate your wins. We need to reevaluate our journey, plan for the next milestone, be grateful for where we're at, and be inspired where we're going. And so what that would look like is that you're going to have your action items, you're going to have your action plan, and we're going to go through, okay, this is where I'm at right now. This is what I'm working on. I'm going to reevaluate this every week. So every week you're going to look at it and say, okay, this was what was important this week. Did I accomplish it? The things that you did accomplish, you're going to praise yourself. You're going to celebrate your wins. You're going to, really say it out loud. Kristen, you did such a great job. I'm so proud of you. You accomplished this goal, and really just jump up and down if you need to. You need to create excitement so that your mind feels good and wants to continue on that path. And also just, you need to feel good because you did a great job. It's got gold star, high five, whatever you got to do. And I'll say it several times. I really think it's important that you have an accountability partner, somebody that can hold you accountable and go through this journey with you. You need to make a commitment to each other when you have an accountability partner that it's okay to hold the other person accountable. You don't want to sugarcoat it because that's not going to help you at all. You want someone that's going to say, hey, you said you were going to do this and you didn't. What's your block? What's holding you back? How can I support you to make sure that you can achieve this next time, and really be an offer of support? No judgment, just support, somebody that's going to hold you accountable. But with that, you're going to be reevaluating, look at your wins, and then the things that you didn't get to. There's a couple ways that you need to address those. First of all, is this really a priority to me? Is it serving me? Is it something that I want to do? Oftentimes, if we don't do something, it could be a should that somebody else places on us. Well, I should be doing this. Well, you haven't connected with it enough for it to be something that you want, a must for you. And until you connect with it that it's a must for you, you could take it off your task list to do, because it needs to be something that you truly want to do, not should do, something you truly want in order for you to do it. Now, it could be you just didn't have enough time to get to it, or you didn't have enough resilience to be able to not do something, but you need to get clear on why you didn't accomplish that goal. Journal on it if you need to and say, I didn't do this because I was scared. I chose immediate gratification. It's not something that's important to me. As we start to get really clear of what's important to us, it's going to put us in a position to be super successful in creating the life that we desire. Not that we think we should have, not that other people want, but that we desire. So it's really important that we reevaluate these things and decide, is it important to me? If it is important to you, you need to dig deeper why it's going to be a must for you to do it next time and reschedule it. And then at that point, if it comes up again, then again, you're going to reevaluate it. But you need to understand what's on your plate. Is it something I connect with? Why am I not getting to it? And celebrate when you do. It's a huge win. I mean, you're changing probably years and foundations of what you grew up as limiting beliefs or, minimum things that just don't allow you to move forward. Instant gratification. I mean, we're in a world now where instant gratification is so huge. You got social media that's right there, so you can get, the attention, you can get the connection right away, and not in a true connection way. not on a one-to-one basis, but you're getting instant gratification all day long. But that also means you're pulled at all day long. And you got to be able to just step back and say, this is not going to be what I want out of my ultimate outcome, and I'm not going to do it. You just got to commit to decide that you're not going to do those actions and be clear on that. And then you just got to be clear on where your next steps are, where you're going from there. So you're going to celebrate, here's what I did win, here's where I'm struggling with, but this is why, and now here's my plan of retackling it or taking it off of what I truly want because I don't connect with it, and here's my next steps going forward. If you can work towards those 3 steps, you can accomplish anything that you want in life. That's really what life is. It's about progressing. So really enjoy the journey. Understand, like, right now, this is my journey, and take time to enjoy it, find joy within it, embrace it, celebrate your wins. Make it a fun thing. Make a chart in your office or in your room that has, here's what I'm going to do, and you get to check it off. There's a reason that they do that when we're kids, because we love checking stuff off. We love feeling good and getting stars. Give yourself stars. There's nothing wrong with that. It's totally fine. And with your kids, get them engaged and do the same thing with their chores or their homework. You can have mom and kid charts to show, like, everybody's doing great and we're growing. It's not about we're succeeding in task. And I think that's another thing too, is we're all, we think of perfection and, we need to get all this stuff done to be successful. And we, our values attached to what we get accomplished. And I think it's really important that we celebrate our wins, but not from a standpoint of necessarily a task that we completed, but what it's doing ultimately for us as a person. So the same, when it comes to our kids, it's easy for us to focus on their grades. You got an A. Well, does that make them a better person because they got an A? How does that? So instead of focusing on the fact they got an A, focus on their discipline and commitment that got them the A. And that's something that I'm really working on with my teenagers right now, is really kind of redefining that. I've been very great at, they're straight A kids. They're wonderful. And I've always put an emphasis on education, learning, and being able to create the life that they want for the future. But on that flip side, you can also get perfectionism because they're so focused on having to get an A to be great. And it's not about the A, it's about their discipline and commitment and knowing that they're enough as they are. So making sure that we focus on that too is really important. So where do we go from here? We're going to start with step 1. And really, we need to get very clear on what it is that we're going to do moving forward. Now, the first step is getting very clear on your mindset. And so when we think about our mindset, we got to get really, back to the understanding that we make the choice. If we don't have our mind in a place where we're actively engaging and making the choice to create a better life, then we're going to be where we are. We don't like change. We like comfortable. And whenever we're in a place of uncomfort, our body is automatically going to go back to the place of comfort because that's just how we're designed. So until you choose to be in a place of uncomfortableness, of creating new beliefs to create the life that you desire, you're not committed. So you really need to get to a place where you choose, my mind is what's going to create my future. I control my mind. Me, the being in me, controls my mind, which is going to create my future. And what I mean by that is we got to get really clear on where we're at currently with our mindset. We often, all day we're just go, go, go. It's just unconscious reactions to things. So what we need to do is get clear every day as we're moving towards this direction of getting in a good financial place. We need to know, where do we where are we at financially? How do we think about money? And what is that, what does that look like right now? And how does that take away from what I want in my future? And here's what I mean by that. Often we grow up hearing, we don't have enough money, can't afford that. I know I grew up from a home where there's 5 kids. We didn't have a lot of money. Everything that I have today is based on my hard work, my disciplined actions, and wanting something different for my life and my kids than what I had. And so having those thought processes growing up of I don't have enough money, it followed me. I still have those thoughts at times where it comes up and I'm like, oh, funny, you're not taking over my mind. You really have to get playful with it and kind of laugh like, oh, not stealing my joy. Oh, not stealing my abundance. And it sounds funny, but eventually your brain just automatically says that in response to the thought when you have it. So I want you to start paying attention as you're going through these action items. What's coming up for you? And does that relate to something that happened in your childhood or even your young adulthood? And is it a true belief? Is it real? Is it a real belief? My parents would say money doesn't grow on trees. Right. But I can earn as much money as I want. And so really it's just kind of changing the perspective. So when you say one, you want to flip it with the other. So money doesn't grow on trees, but I can earn as much money as I want. So you're flipping the perspective of what that belief was. And so now your brain will automatically turn it into something that is a reality. I can earn as much money as I want. So as you have those limiting thoughts, you want to shift it with a different thought so that eventually you start having the positive thoughts. As you start having the negative thoughts, start journaling them, put them down, and get very clear. Okay, why is this coming up for me? What does this mean? And is it true? And then rewrite it into something that's more empowering, that is truthful for you, so that you can start creating that positive belief, that positive mindset. Just really thinking and really contemplating and questioning when you have a thought that doesn't serve you is how you take control of your mindset to create an abundance mindset. It's an option. It's a choice. A belief comes from reaffirming a thought over and over again. Did that set in? A belief comes from a thought reoccurring over and over again. And then you connect it with a feeling of sureness, of absolute, of must, so that it becomes a belief. So you can create anything you want as a belief if you just keep reoccurring it. And that's where we get into mantras, which we're going to talk about more. So affirmations, mantras, those all help build the blocks of a belief. And the same is true, like I said, with the negative belief. So if a negative belief comes, you can also you rephrase it with a true meaning behind it. So like I said, money doesn't grow on trees, but I can earn as much money as I want. So that you're reaffirming that belief in a positive way. And that way, that belief that's been attached there now is going to be a positive belief instead of it just being a negative belief. So rewriting those beliefs is going to be really big. And really paying attention to your thoughts is going to be super important. And deciding to choose to change those thought patterns and adopt new patterns. Now, when you get your mantras, which we're going to talk about in a minute, you want them everywhere. You want to become obsessed. You want to see it everywhere so that it becomes a new belief. And once that becomes a new belief, you establish another new belief that you want. So really, it's kind of building upon that mindset. It's your mind. You have control to create whatever you want. So make that commitment to creating the best mindset that's going to serve you and create the result that you want. So step one here is we're going to know where we are. We're going to see it again. We're going to see it as it is, not better, not worse. We need to know exactly where we are in order for us to be able to make a commitment to, making sure that we move towards the direction that we want. And so financially, what does that look like? Well, the first step, if you haven't already, which most people have not, you need to know exactly what expenses you have going out, what income you have coming in. If you don't know the income that you have coming in and the expenses going out, you have no clue of where you are currently and what you can do moving forward. And thus, you can't really take action if you don't know where you are. So we need to get clear of where are we. So if you do not have a financial spreadsheet, then you need to work on creating the financial spreadsheet that's going to be listed here. And all you need to do is get an Excel spreadsheet. Excel spreadsheet, you're going to put a column. You're going to say, what's the company name, account number, how much do you owe each month, what date do you owe, and on there you're also going to put when it's due. So is it a monthly? Is it a quarterly? Is it an annual fee? So literally you're going to list out all expenses, whether they're a weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual fee. You're going to list in a column which it is, how much that's due. And then I also put on there an email, if it has a web address to the account, as well as the login information. I have a full master that's under password. That way, if something happens to me, my family can get a hold of it, make sure that all the finances are taken care of. So Excel spreadsheet, account, when's it due? Is it quarterly, weekly, monthly? How much is due? Account number, login, password. So if you have a master spreadsheet, then you can calculate and see where you're at. Now, how do you create this if you really just don't know where you're at? So you're going to go and you're going to pull your last 3 months bank statements and any credit card statements that you have, and your PayPal if you use PayPal as well. So within those statements, you're going to pull those, you're going to print them out, you're going to sit down, you're going to time block an hour and a half, and you're going to sit down and you're going to take 3 highlighters, 3 different color highlighters. You're going to take one highlighter first and go through all the accounts. You're going to highlight the must with one color and keep a little key at the, write it, which one is which. So you're going to take the first highlighter. All of these are a must, meaning that I have to pay these. If I don't pay these, then, such as like an auto loan, a house payment, food, gas, those are a must. You have to have those. Then take a different highlighter and you're going to have the need plus. Now the need plus are the ones that, or want plus, sorry. The want plus are the ones that, these are still a want. I don't need them, but they're a high want, meaning that I really, 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 really want these. Then you're going to take the other highlighter and you're going to do the other wants, which are the ones that are, I want these, but I want the other ones more. So you're going to have 3 different categories. Within those 3 categories now, you can look at all of it and you can go through your master spreadsheet. All of your must, all the ones that are your needs are going to need to go on that master spreadsheet. So any outgoing expenses that you have need to go on there. And then you're going to look at your needs as well. So if your needs are ones that you're paying on right now, you're going to also put those on your expenses. Now, this is a time for you to get very clear on what you want moving forward. So as you look at your needs column, which is not the needs plus, can you let those go? Are those items that you really don't need and you can let go of right now because you're building the future that you want, and down the road you can add those? So this is where you get really clear of what you're going to put on your expenses. And you're going to get very defined on what you're allowing to let go so that you can stay true to your commitment to building the financial freedom that you want. Doesn't mean they're going forever. It just means right now you're going to pause them. You don't need them. You're going to, if you have memberships to things you're not using, cancel those memberships. If you have cable or TV, do you need those? And if so, call and negotiate those contracts because you could probably get them for less than what you're paying right now, including your cell phone, insurance, any of that. You want to have all of those reevaluated, get to the lowest amount that you can that you have to pay out, and put it on your expense sheet. Once you have your expense sheet filled out, you're going to total how much your outgoing is average per month. So some things are going to be annual, some things are going to be quarterly. What I do is I have a column on there that I put and I say, okay, if it's an annual policy, how much does that equate to each month? I'll put it in the monthly column just so I can have an average for the year of what my monthly outgoing expenses are. So once you have that, then you're going to list out, okay, here's my outgoing expenses. You also need to know what your income is. What's your income? So you could be just standard. I know this is my paycheck. I earn this amount each month. This is what I bring home. And that's great. If you're variable income or you have multiple sources of income or you're self-employed, you need to know what your average monthly income is. So what you would do is you would look at your last year income, bring home income, and then you're going to divide it by how many months. So if you do 12 months, all of your bring home income that you have divided by 12, that's going to be your monthly income that you're going to use for all of our planning moving forward. So you need to, again, get very clear on where you are, which means you need to create your master worksheet. Spreadsheet has all your information, know exactly what your outgoing expenses are, let go of all the stuff you don't need, renegotiate contracts that you currently have for less outgoing expenses, get very as low as you can on your expenses so that we can create the plan moving forward, and then know what your income is. Then if you take your expenses and your income, you can see what your net money, net assets are, or net money is each month. But now we can take that money and figure out what's the next best step for me to create the financial freedom that I want. You got to do this before you can do anything else. Mindset. I'm clear. I want this vision. I know what I want moving forward. This is why I want it. Now, where am I? Okay, here's all my expenses. Here's all of my income. Now what we do is if you have a negative, and a lot of people are paying, one credit card with another credit card bill. Let's say you have a negative. How can we change that? Well, now we need to, what are solutions? We're always going to be solution-based. Can I get another part-time job? Can I work overtime? We got to start asking these questions to figure out what's going to put us in a better financial position. So start kind of exploring that too. As you have your income and assets, is there anything else I can think of right now that I can do to earn more income? Can I sell things? Can I, to return things that I don't need, that are no longer needed? Can I get a second job? Can I work overtime? Start exploring these other solutions that you have to gain more income to work towards the financial plan that you want moving forward. Very important that you take the time, stop, do this. You need to get very clear on what it is that you're wanting moving forward and create the life that you want. So our action tasks, we're going to get very clear. So you need to know, what is your relationship with money? When you think about money, what comes to mind? This is how we're going to create that abundance mindset, which is a huge, huge, huge component of your financial abundance and financial freedom. Without it, you're going to come from a place of scarcity and suffering, and you're not going to ever feel like it's enough, even when it would have been enough or you reached your goal. It's never enough. Got to come from a mind of abundance, and we do that by shifting our perspective, shifting our mindset. And are these thoughts what you heard from your parents growing up? And the reason that we ask that question is, are these limiting thoughts that have been put on me, and are they really true? Is this really what I believe? And really get clear on that. So your action items for this week, you're going to have a couple. First one, you're going to write a letter to money, as if you're in a relationship with money. How you feel, what you like, what you don't like about money. You're going to, put what are your deepest desires in your future with money, as if you're in a real relationship. And then you're going to, so your current relationship with money first. You're going to write out how I feel, how you think your relationship is. Some of you are probably going to be, finding out that you've, been in an abusive relationship with money for a long time. But the good news is we're changing that. We're going to rewrite your script. We're going to rewrite your story. So then we're going to go through and we're going to rewrite a new letter, and we're going to write our letter with money as if we've already created the deepest desires we want. So that financial vision that we want, we're going to act as if we're already in a relationship with money, and how we feel and why it's important and what we appreciate and what we're going to become and what we're going to be able to provide and do, and get very clear. And we're going to keep that. And we're going to, during those times where it's really hard or we're struggling, we're going to relook at that letter and the relationship that we want with money and say, I'm committed. I'm committed to this relationship. I'm committed to doing the work. I'm committing to get this outcome, so that we have this as a resilience tracker, a resilience motivator to keep you going. Then we're going to create a financial mantra. And so a financial abundance mantra is going to be huge. Again, it's shifting that belief, that perspective. And so when you're dealing with the money relationship, you're going to get a good idea of what a good money mantra, maybe a couple are, because you're going to see some of the limiting blocks that you have in the bad relationship letter. So in the bad relationship, the not so good relationship letter, you may keep coming up with, it's not enough. I just don't have enough. I'm, exhausted, or, whatever it is. Well, then you would want to create a mantra that says, there's more than enough money. There's more than enough money. I'm financially free. Or there's more than enough time and energy for me to create the abundance that I want and the life that I desire. So you want to get really clear on your financial abundance mantra, and you want to keep the mantra with you. I'd put it on your phone screen, or on your calendar, on sticky notes, everywhere. You can download an app called Think Up, Think Up, and it's a mantra tracker, affirmations that you can record to your voice and music. And then you could just get in the habit. Every morning I get up, and on my drive to work, every morning I'm listening to it over and over again. It's really cool because I can download instrumental, upbeat music from my Apple to the mantras, so that I'm getting in the power and the vibe and the state. You want to get into a positive, good state. And as you're saying, I'm abundant, and you're going to, say it with belief, true belief and conviction that, I manifest abundance and prosperity into my life, and my heart feels happy and free. That's one of mine that I say over and over again. And you get to a point where these affirmations, and you start saying them, and it's just, you say it right along with the music out loud, because you are believing in it. It's affirmed in you. Your mind is built to create what you believe. So if you say something, it wants to be right. We want to be right about everything. So if you're saying these, it's like, oh, you are right. You're building abundance and prosperity, and it just starts building in these connections into you that you didn't even know were there, because now your mind is making it's your RAS, your reticulating activating system. As soon as it's there, it wants to see it everywhere. It wants to create these connections. It wants to make it real. The same is true with the negative thoughts. That's why as soon as we have a negative thought, we want to see it, say, you no longer serve me, and let it go. We don't want to think it's bad. We just, you no longer serve me, let it go, and then switch to the good, abundant thought beliefs that you have. So as you start creating these mantras, now you're getting to be releasing all the self-serving thoughts, and now you're putting it and replacing it with ones that serve you, that are going to help you get to your ultimate desire and help you create the life that you desire to have. And then commitments. Every session, we're going to have a session of commitments. So these are commitments that I'm making. I would encourage you to write down what you want or take these ones from each session. I commit to completing this week's action items. If you don't do the work, you're not going to get the results. And even if you're thinking through and you're like, oh, I thought about it, that's fine. No, you need to write it down. It needs to be on paper. You need to do the actions to where it's tangible and you're working through them. And you need to time block the time and space to be able to do that. So I commit to completing this work's action items. Then you're going to commit to creating an environment where my financial abundance mantra is top of mind all day. I speak my mantra out loud daily and release thoughts that don't serve me. Huge. Again, everywhere on your calendar, on your pop-up. You want to see it everywhere. I commit to letting go of my relationship with money as it was in the past and commit to embracing my relationship as I desire it to be from today going forward. I commit to today to having the relationship that I desire. That's why you got to write out, this is my old relationship. This is my new relationship. And your old relationship, after you're done with it, you should rip it up. Say, this no longer serves me. Get rid of it. Throw it away. It's no longer your future. You're creating your new future, and you're embracing and you're working towards that. I commit to choosing to create the life I desire. Only I have the power to change my life, and I have the responsibility to myself to follow through. Most importantly, I have the desire to myself to follow through. Now, as a parent, I also connect to my kids, and that's a driving force, sometimes more so than myself. My kids are more important. So many years, now they're at the age where they're teenagers, many years I created and sunk that into, I'm letting my kids down if I don't do this. If I don't take care of myself and if I don't create this, I'm letting them down. And that way you connect with it being a must. So I encourage you, write down your commitments and review them daily so that you stay on track with this journey moving forward. And you can join the community. So we have a Facebook community. We need to be around other people that are in the same direction as us, empowered and growth-minded and wanting, to be able to support each other and help each other grow in a positive environment with good, constructive, positive feedback. And so it's really important that you join a community. If you don't already have a community of support, I encourage you either way, join the communities here. You have the Abundance Connection, which is my community that I created to help create abundance connections around every facet of your life, even though we're talking specifically around money today. And then if you're a woman, we have a Women in Wealth 2020 group here that we are also hosting events and supports for women in the area as well. So both of these are going to be great community online social platforms that will help support. If you have questions, you can reach out on there, message us. We'd be more than happy to get back to you. We want to make sure that you're inspired, committed, staying on this journey so that you have ultimate success. You create the desire that you have. You owe it to yourself. Stay committed to yourself. If you want something different than where you are, you need to create something different. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Don't be insane. Be committed. Be disciplined. Take action. Join the community. And I'm super excited to be on this journey with you. Again, Kristen Cooper, and I am super, super excited to watch you grow, offer support. And if you have anything specifically that you would like to go over, please feel free to reach out.